Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This week we are memory planning the week of July 17th through the 23rd, which this was the week of Comic-Con. This was my first time ever going to Comic-Con, and I did not know what kit to use for this, but then I saw this one in my collection, and I was like, it doesn't necessarily, make sense for Comic-Con itself, but I was like, it's a super fun, quirky kit, and, it's got the girls all dressed up in all the candy outfits, and obviously people at Comic-Con like dressing up, and I don't know, the vibes were just there. It's not, it doesn't really, fit Comic-Con exactly, but it gave the fun vibes that I was going for. So, yeah, I just decided to go with this, and I'm actually so happy with that, because I had originally had the SPC Yum kit slotted in for this week, because I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna be in California, I'm gonna get the California food that I miss, but I just wasn't set on that. I think that kit is very cute, but I was not set on that being my Comic-Con spread. And then I had the idea to use this kit, and then I was just completely set on it. I was so happy with that decision, and I'm just so happy that I ended up deciding on that and trying to find a new kit, because I just really don't think I would have been as happy with the spread for this week if I had gone with the Yum kit. I want to use that eventually because I have the kit now, but I think this just turned out so much better and makes me so much happier than the Yum kit would have. So, yeah. I also just paired it with this Sparkly Rose foil bundle from Planner Pixie Co. Because I kind of decided on this kit very last minute. And so if you guys remember from a couple months back, when I did the Tink spread, I had ordered foil from Planner Pixie Co. and it got lost in the mail, and then she resent my order, and then a couple weeks later this one just randomly showed, my original order just randomly showed up. So I had this foil bundle just in my collection, and I was like, you know what, it's super sparkly, it'll make the spread kind of pop and stand out because of all the sparkle, but it also just makes it nice and easy because I've got a bundle to use. So, yeah, I really love it. And then I did use a little Tinkerbell tall box. It's just a stroke tall box, but it has a little Tinkerbell silhouette down in the bottom, because again, I had ordered this stuff with, for the Tink spread, and that was a custom that I had ordered, but I didn't have any other tall box in this foil. And I was like, I could just cut a box up, or I could just use that and just be fine with it. And honestly, I'm fine with it. You don't really honestly notice it that much unless I tell you, but it just gives a nice uniform look to it, having it just be a full tall box instead of having to cut a box, So, yeah. But other than that, I think everything... Yeah, I didn't pull in any other foil or anything. It is all from the foil bundle, and I actually didn't use any scripts this week. I think my original plan was to make all of my scripts for this week, and then I went through and I filmed this, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't do that. And I could have just waited and done a separate clip at the end, kind of like Rosie does, where, once her spread is done, she goes back in and puts all the scripts in. But I honestly was too lazy to do that. So I wrote everything in, and actually, I don't love my handwriting, but I don't hate it. But I love how uniform that looks. Just like when you use scripts for everything, like how Rosie uses a certain font for all of her scripts for the week, it's kind of the same idea. It's just my own handwriting. So I actually really like the way that it looks. But yeah, I didn't speed my clips up as fast as I normally do, because I know I'll probably have things that I want to talk about for a minute. So I'm hoping I have time at the speeds that I put them at right now, but I guess we'll see. But let's just get into the day by day. If you have any questions about the kit or the base or anything like that, then feel free to leave them down below. But I want to give myself some time for some stories. So, on the sidebar, I just put Comic-Con, because obviously it was Comic-Con week, and the last few weeks I have been counting down to it, so I of course had to put it in this week that it was Comic-Con week. On Monday, I had my normal Monday morning Plan With Me binge, and then I called Subway this day because, or no, Subway's got another thing going on right now. This was a different thing. We got Subway this day, and I had ordered it, but you can't order soup on the app, so my boyfriend, like, when he did this before, he just went in and picked it up, and then he just, like, bought a bowl of soup, so I was gonna have him do that. And then he came home, and he was like, they didn't have any soup, and I was so upset because I had literally called them, like, an hour before he went to pick it up. Like, I called them right before I made my order, and they said that they have the soup. So I don't know if it's just the one that they had that day and they were already sold out because they just didn't look, or if it was just sold out in that time between him, me ordering and him going and getting it. But either way, I was bummed about there being no soup. Then I just FaceTimed with my mom for a little bit, and then I marked playing with stickers. I don't really know exactly what I did, but I played with stickers. Then I crocheted. I finished the market bag that I had started making the weekend before, and then I had just a little bit of leftover yarn, so I made a little matching scrunchie for it because those are super easy to make and they don't take up a lot of yarn, and like finishing off my scrunchie literally used up all of the green yarn that I had left, so it was perfect, and now I have a matching scrunchie for my bag. Then I just had some cuddles with my little fur babies. They were being cuddly this day. And then I got some Happy Mail. I got the book Wretched, and then I also got my fun Comic-Con nails from an old school friend of mine. She does her own nails and stuff, and she made me some really fun, cute acrylic nails, and I got those in the mail this day, and I was just so happy that they came, like, just in time before I had to leave for Comic-Con. And then I watched more of the show Heels this night, which I had started, the week before, on, like, Thursday, I think. On to Tuesday, I marked that I slept in, and then I got my Just Fab no. I did not get my Just Fab. I was annoyed at Just Fab because I didn't get my order, because it was originally supposed to be here, like, the Wednesday before this, and then they pushed the delivery date to, like, Monday, and then I got a hold of them this day on Tuesday to say, hey, my order still isn't here, and it still says it'll be here on Monday, or, like, no, actually, it said it, like, on there, it said it would be there the Saturday before, and I'm like, how are you still telling me that it's on its way, and it's gonna be here the Saturday that has already passed? So I called them to try and figure it out, and they were like, oh yeah, it should hopefully be there Wednesday, but the problem was that I was leaving Wednesday, and I had to leave in the morning. So I was so annoyed because this had a bunch of cute shirts and, like, a bunch of jewelry and stuff that I had wanted to bring on my trip with me. So I was really annoyed at the whole thing, because it was like, it was already gonna be a week late, and then it still wasn't showing up, and yeah, and it was a whole thing. Then I just was on the phone with my mom, and then I actually FaceTimed her because I had started, like, trying to come up with my 3 Comic-Con day outfits, and so once I kind of had an idea of what outfits I was gonna do, I FaceTimed her to show them and get, like, some final decisions on some things. So I just tried on all my Comic-Con outfits. Then I took a shower this night, And then this evening I just figured out what books I wanted to bring because at Comic-Con, like, a lot of authors that I really like were going to be there, and I had a lot of, like, I owned a lot of books for certain authors that were going to be there, so I was trying to kind of narrow it down because I knew I couldn't bring, like, all of the books that I had for all of the authors, so I kind of just tried to prioritize it, and then I packed this night. On to Wednesday, I just FaceTimed my mom in the morning once we got up as I was just, like, finishing packing, just to call her and be like, hey, what are all the things I need, just to, like, kind of run through a checklist and make sure I've got everything, because you just gotta ask mom that sometimes. So, I just called her for a little bit until we left just to make sure I had everything packed and ready to go that I needed. Then I, of course, marked finishing packing. And then my boyfriend and I headed out and we stopped and grabbed some McDonald's breakfast because it's like a 2-3 hour drive to Bozeman. So we stopped and got some McDonald's breakfast and then we headed off to Bozeman. And this is actually our first time going to Bozeman. We had not been before. Then I just crocheted a little bit on the drive there. I have this one roll of yarn that I have started and unraveled and restarted so many projects on, and I still haven't finished anything with it. I started something new and I haven't touched it in a couple of weeks, and I'm probably going to unravel it again. I just don't know what to do with it. Then we stopped at Target when we got to Bozeman, because I had to grab a couple of just, like, little makeup items that I wanted for my Comic-Con days, and then I actually ended up picking up a couple more books this day, because I had the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and then at Target, they had the Atlas Paradox, Alone with You in the Ether, and One for My Enemy. So I picked all of those up because she was at Comic-Con. And then I also picked up TJ Klune's In the Lives of Puppets, but I unfortunately did not get to see him at Comic-Con. But either way, I'm still happy to have the book. Then we got Panda Express right before going to the airport because I just wanted to get some food before I was flying because I was going to be getting in to San Diego really late. And then I flew from Bozeman to Las Vegas. And then on that flight, I read a bunch of Belladonna by Adeline Grace, because I was getting really close to finishing it, and I was going to see her at Comic-Con, so I read a bunch of it on my flight, and then, so Las Vegas was, like, my layover, so then I went Las Vegas to San Diego, and then my brother and his friend picked me up and we got in and out because that is, like, my brother's all-time favorite thing about California, and he lives in Florida now, so that was, like, his thing. He was like, we're getting in and out as soon as we're there, so we got in and out that night. And then Thursday was day one of Comic-Con. My brother and his friend only went to Friday and Saturday, so I actually did day one all by myself, and this was my first time ever going to Comic-Con, but it was actually a lot less overwhelming than I thought, but I also think a big part of that is because of, like, the strike, so there wasn't as much to do there as, I mean, there was still a lot to do in my mind, but a lot of the people who had been there before were like, yeah, there's nothing here, so, I don't know, but I still had a good time regardless, so it was my day one of Comic-Con, and this day I did my, like, Euphoria look. I wore this white bodysuit, this, like, deep cut v-neck bodysuit, not super low cut, but with just some cute jeans, and I wore this like super glittery gel stuff on my eyes. It's from ColourPop. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it was this really pretty purple shimmery gel that I put on my eyes, and literally every author that I went and saw this day were like, "Oh my god, I love your eyeshadow." So it was a favorite of the day. Then when I first got in there, I just walked around the vendors area, just checking out all of the booths and just kind of getting a feel for things and checking things out. Then my brother did bring me Jack in the Box for lunch. I just like left the convention center and went out and met him and grabbed that and just had some lunch. And then I FaceTimed. I don't know why maybe just because the colors. I FaceTimed my boyfriend later in the day, like after Comic-Con, but I just put it in there probably because I went in like color order, so I probably didn't have a green one of those checklists, but I was on the phone with my boyfriend, and then I just put all of the like signings that I went to. So I went to Welcome to Fantasyland, which I got. These aren't the only authors, but I only put in my planner like the authors that I got their book signed. So I went to Welcome to Fantasyland, and I got some books signed by Adeline Grace and Rachel Griffin. Then I went to Queens of Love and Lore, the hottest romantasy authors, and got books signed by Claire Legrand and Anne Aguirre. And then I went to Fables and Fairy Tales, New Spins on Old Stories, and I got Aaron A. Craig's new book and got it signed and personalized. And then I just put that my hips were hurting really, really bad this day, and I started, like, this night, once I was back in the room and laying in bed, my hips were really hurting, and I was getting, like, little back spasms and stuff, so not fun. On to Friday, I just put that it was day 2, and this was my Barbie look, because this was the day that Barbie came out. So I did like a bright pink eyeshadow, and I wore this like hot pink crop top, and yeah, it was my little Barbie look for the weekend. Then I went to Loungefly because I really wanted to get the new like the Comic-Con Jurassic Park anniversary wallet that they had, so I stood in line there, and I did end up getting it, and I'm pretty sure it was literally the last one that they had for the day, so I got so lucky with that, but I'm very, very happy that I got it. And then my brother's wheelchair tire popped while I was in line at Loungefly, so that caused a whole lot of trouble and everything for the rest of the weekend. Then I went to the panel Love in All the Fantastic Places, where I got my books signed by Laura Thalassa and Olivia Blake. And then I went to the Hillywood show. If you haven't heard of them, look them up on YouTube. I love them so much. But they were doing a signing, so I didn't have anything to do, so I was just kind of standing around like where their signing was gonna be, and then next thing you know, I see them just standing kind of in the area just with their suitcases, and like I didn't want to go up and talk to them and like make them uncomfortable, but someone else went up and talked to them, and so then I kind of made my way over there, and then me and this other girl that went up to them just like went up there and chatted with them for a while, and it was really cool, and they are just like super sweet. So then I obviously got in line and did their signing and everything, but it was just really cool getting to like hang out with them for a little bit beforehand. And then for dinner this night we got Chick-fil-A, so it wasn't really anything. I didn't do a ton this day. On to day 3 of Comic-Con, Saturday. I did my comic look. So the nails that I had gotten were, I don't know if anyone's seen the like comic look that people are doing. Just if you haven't seen it, just look up like comic nails. So I got stuff like that, and then I decided to do an eye makeup look that kind of matched it. So I did like a kind of dramatic liner, and then I did little like doodles on my eyes, and it actually turned out pretty cute. So that was my look that day. Then I just called my boyfriend and my mom for a little bit. I was in a really, really bad mood this day. Like, I was just very uncomfortable. My back was hurting, and I was just kind of done with everything, honestly, which was unfortunate because obviously, I mean, I was still having fun at Comic-Con, but I don't know, it was just, this day was kind of rough. But I did go to a few panels this day. So I went to Mysteries, Magic, and Mayhem, which wasn't a signing. I didn't go to their signing, but I went to the actual panel. Then I did go to the Hillywood signing again, because they were doing a signing this day, and I bought one more thing from them. And then I also just like chatted with them more because they remembered me, and we just chatted for a little bit again, and like I said, they're just super sweet. Then I went to the Spotlight on Victoria Aveyard signing. Obviously got book signed by Victoria Aveyard, and then also Maggie Tokuda Hall. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Then, like I said, I was really annoyed this day. There was just stuff going on, and I was kind of annoyed at my brother, and it was just like a whole thing. But then after Comic-Con this day, again, he wanted In-N-Out, so we got In-N-Out. And then on to Sunday, I didn't really feel great. I had a sore throat, and like my nose was all stuffy and everything. So I just didn't really feel all that fantastic. Then my brother did fly back to Florida, and my dad, he had flown to San Diego so that I could have a little bit more of a trip in San Diego, because I had never been. So I put that my dad got there. And then this day we just stayed in the hotel like all day, and for some reason one of the channels was having a Twilight marathon, so I literally binge watched all of the Twilight movies. I did fall asleep during, I think I might have fallen asleep during New Moon, because I don't really remember watching any of New Moon. Like, I saw like little clips, but I think I slept through most of that movie, and then I slept through like the first bit of Eclipse, and then I finished that one. But I watched all the Breaking Dawn, or both the Breaking Dawn ones, because those are my favorite. But yeah, I did take a nap, and then we ordered Wiener Schnitzel this day, because my dad really likes Wiener Schnitzel, and there was one like really close to us, to get DoorDash. And then we ended up just watching this movie called Maybe It's You. I think that's the name. I hope that's correct, because that's what's in my planner now. But yeah, it was called Maybe It's You, and it was just this cute, like, goofy rom-com type of movie. But yeah, we just let that play because it came on after the Twilight movies. So that is it for this plan with me. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I absolutely love the way that this spread turned out. I think this was just such a cute kit to commemorate such a fun week for Comic-Con, and I'll always be able to look back on this and remember that. And I loved getting to meet so many authors at Comic-Con. Yeah, you'll see in the next week that I had so many books with me that I literally shipped myself a giant box of books back to my house. So yeah, but we'll talk about that more next week. But I absolutely love this spread. I love the foil with it. It's all just absolute perfection. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I hope to see you guys in a new video very soon. Bye, friends.